joined now live in the studio by oil and gas expert Teymur Huseynov from Exclusive Analysis. Thanks so much for coming in to speak to us.
Good to be here.
So, Russia, the big winner in all of this?
Absolutely. We've seen 14th week, in a straight 14th week, where Russia has been a positive recipient of portfolio investments. This goes in contrast to the all other emerging markets. Actually, portfolio investments from the emerging markets, including China, have been withdrawn. But the case has been quite different in Russia, because Russia, especially in the equity markets, is fundamentally a commodity story. So that has been the reason why we've seen such a positive performance.
Does this mean that Russia is also in a position to boost oil production? Do they have any spare capacity to make up for a loss of production?
No spare capacity at all. We were really surprised by some comments among the European politicians who were saying that they were expecting Russia would boost production, but Russia is actually at the moment producing at full capacity, around 10 million barrels a day, and some inflow of additional barrels to European markets would necessitate a decrease in barrels that are at the moment going to China and other East Asian markets.
I mean, is that something that Russia needs to think about? Is that something that they need to do, invest in spare capacity so that they can continue reaping the rewards in a situation like this?
Absolutely. Investment in exploration and production is one of the key issues in the Russian energy industry. If you look at the major producers and their performance over the last few years, they haven't been doing well. I'm talking about Rosneft or Lukoil. Only TNK-BP, alongside other mid-sized and smaller producers, have been performing very well. And
why?
Because of the technological capacity and because of the investments that
they get from teaming up with foreign companies. So if there is this, we were speaking about how the boost in global energy prices, Russia reaping the benefit of this, is also helping other asset classes. The ruble is doing very well. Equities are rising. Are we going to see more foreign investment in Russia as a result of this? Is there going to be a feeling that, okay, you know, things are kicking off in the Middle East, a lot of turmoil there? Does Russia start to look a little bit more attractive?
It's not that straightforward. There are other factors that need to be taken into account. Russia basically is still considered as a relatively riskier place compared to OECD or other developing emerging markets. The government needs to take the reform initiative that it's
riskier
very much...
than China?
Well, in some respects, yes. In others, no. It depends on the sectors. But the economic reforms need to be advanced, and the government needs to make sure that the past stories that have really affected the investor sentiment, foreign investor sentiment, are not repeated in the future.
And it's absolutely key to point that out, isn't it? That there is a great deal of uncertainty, a great deal of perceived risk for a great deal of investors,
especially as
Russia.
we are entering the election period. In the next year, we have parliamentary elections in December of this year, and in March of next year, we have presidential elections. And if you look at the outflow of money from Russia, it's mostly the net outflow of Russia is negative. In the first 2 months of this year, only $20 billion, according to our calculations, based on the calculations of the Russian Central Bank, have actually left Russia. And most of this money is actually being diverted abroad by the Russian investors themselves, by the Russian companies, because of the fear and because of that uncertainty you mentioned in the next year.
Well, you know, great to talk to you. A very nuanced analysis that you give us, Teymur Huseynov, Global Head of Oil and Gas Consulting, Exclusive Analysis.